What if I told you right now, sitting somewhere in your house, in a drawer, a jar, or even your childhood coin box, there could be a coin that is not just valuable but life-changing? A coin that could flip your world upside down. A coin so rare, so unbelievably historic, that collectors across America would chase it like treasure hunters after a lost fortune. These aren't your average quarters. These are Washington quarters that have rewritten history, coins that survived decades of time, mystery, and luck. Each one tells a story of American pride, minting mastery, and pure chance. And in today's market, some of these quarters have shocked experts by selling for prices that sound impossible. We're talking about coins that could make your collection worth more than you ever dreamed, maybe even more than gold itself. So don't even think about skipping this video, because in the next few minutes, I'll show you 4 ultra-rare Washington quarter dollars coins that could be hiding right under your nose. One of these coins alone could turn an ordinary collector into a millionaire overnight. Welcome back to Rare Coin News USA, where we uncover America's hidden treasures, the coins that carry mystery, fortune, and history in every gleam of silver. And remember, we post freshly updated rare coin content every single day. Now let's dive into our first treasure, a coin that looks ordinary to most eyes but hides a value that could leave you breathless. Coin number 1, Washington quarter dollar 1964, no mint mark, black shade, fine condition. At first glance, you might pass by a 1964 Washington quarter without even a second thought. It looks like just another silver coin from mid-century America, a piece of loose change from an older time. But what if I told you this very coin, without a mint mark, holds one of the most stunning secrets in the world of numismatics today? The 1964 Washington quarter marks the final chapter of an era, the last year the U.S. Mint struck quarters using 90% silver before switching to a copper-nickel composition. That alone makes it historically significant. But what truly sets this version apart is the absence of a mint mark. This means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, yet in this particular black-shaded fine-condition variety, the tone and strike reveal a strange anomaly, a unique blend of oxidized silver and preservation that's almost never seen in circulation. Collectors call this tone the shadowed silver, and it has a hypnotic look that makes every angle of the coin shimmer differently. Back in 1964, millions were minted, but time, wear, and silver melting have devoured most of them. Out of all that history, only a few rare survivors remain in this black-shaded form, still sharp in detail, with Washington's profile standing proud against that haunting patina. And that's where the rarity begins. Because while most 1964 quarters were melted down for their silver content after 1965, this specific no-mint mark, black-toned survivor has achieved legendary status among collectors. It's not just an old coin, it's a relic of the Silver Age, a frozen moment in United States history. Today, as we enter 2025, this particular Washington quarter, 1964, no mint mark, fine condition, black shade variety, has been shocking auction houses and private collectors alike. Its current market value has climbed to a jaw-dropping $105,000. Yes, $105,000, and it's not slowing down. And this isn't hype, it's reality. The market is heating up. Experts say the silver-era quarters are becoming scarcer every single year. Every month, one less comes to market, and one more disappears into private hands, locked away for generations. So if you're holding a 1964 Washington quarter, inspect it carefully. Check the color, the tone, the mint mark, or lack of one. You might be staring at a coin that could rewrite your financial destiny. And remember this truth: the value of these coins isn't just monetary. It's emotional. It's the legacy of an America that once minted silver into beauty, a symbol of national craftsmanship and pride. Collectors across the United States are calling it the Black Phantom Quarter. Some say it's like holding a piece of time itself. If you ever find a 1964 quarter with no mint mark and a deep shadowy silver tone, do not clean it, do not polish it, and do not spend it. Handle it gently, preserve it in a protective holder, and have it appraised by a trusted grading service. Cleaning it could destroy a fortune. The market for silver quarters has never been stronger, and the year 1964 no mint mark variant is the cornerstone of that boom. Wait for time, because as silver prices rise and collectors hunt for untouched specimens, the value of this coin will only go higher. And that's not fiction, that's fact. So hold on tight, because the next coin we are about to reveal makes this one look like just the beginning. It's a coin so rare, even most experienced collectors have only heard of it, but never seen it with their own eyes. Coin number 2, Washington $quarter, 1959, with D, beautiful old look, black shade, fine condition. Now, my friends, if the 1964 quarter was the final heartbeat of the silver era, the next coin is its proud ancestor, a survivor from a time when craftsmanship ruled the minting floor and silver was still the soul of American money. The 1959 with D Washington quarter, a coin that collectors describe as majestic, enigmatic, and impossibly rare in its finest preserved forms. Let's go back for a moment, back to 1959. America was standing tall. The post-war boom was in full swing. Families were buying their first homes. Rock and roll was electrifying the youth, and the mint in Denver was striking some of the most beautifully crafted silver quarters ever made. Each 1959 with D Washington quarter carried with it 90% pure silver, forged with an artistry that no machine today can fully replicate. Every coin came out gleaming, with Washington's proud portrait symbolizing stability and progress, the American dream, in solid silver. But here's where the story twists into something extraordinary. You see, out of all those millions struck, only a handful survived in the black shade fine condition, a breathtaking, naturally aged patina that collectors now call the old shadow finish. This wasn't caused by damage or corrosion. It's a stunning chemical evolution that silver coins undergo when they rest undisturbed for decades, shielded from light and air, quietly darkening into a mysterious hue that's more art than accident. When a 1959 with D shows that kind of black-silver contrast, deep tone on the fields, bright silver still glowing around the details, you're not just holding a coin. You're holding a time capsule. And not just any time capsule, this coin carries the whisper of the Denver Mint's golden years, when every strike was bold, sharp, and deliberate. The D mint mark isn't just a letter. It's a signature, a sign that this beauty was born in the Rocky Mountains, in a mint that produced some of the finest silver pieces of the 20th century. But make no mistake, this coin's rarity is off the charts. While the average 1959 with D might be found in worn, dull conditions, this black-shaded, fine-grade survivor is something altogether different. Even the top grading authorities in America have confirmed that specimens with this level of natural toning and fine preservation are virtually impossible to find. And here's where the heartbeat starts to rise, because in the modern collector market, something absolutely wild has happened. This 1959 with D Washington quarter, in beautiful old look, fine black shade condition, has exploded in value. Private collectors have been locked in bidding wars over it. Auction houses have recorded shocking results that leave even experts shaking their heads. And the current market value of this coin? Brace yourself, because right now it's standing strong at $110,000. That's right, $110,000 for a single silver quarter. And listen closely, this isn't a rumor or internet myth. This is happening in the real market today as we speak. Why? Because serious collectors are beginning to realize that once these rare silver quarters vanish into private vaults, they might never see daylight again. The number of authentic 1959 with D shadow tone specimens is so small, experts predict that within the next few years, prices could skyrocket even higher. Imagine that a coin, once worth 25 cents, now transformed into a treasure so valuable that it could change your life in an instant. That's not exaggeration. That's how fast this market is evolving. And it's not just the price that gives this coin its power. It's the story it tells of America's minting mastery, of silver's timeless beauty, and of the luck it takes to stumble upon one of these legendary survivors. If you happen to own a 1959 WTD Washington quarter, here's what you must do. Check its tone. If it shows that elegant, shadowy black patina, that deep aged beauty, keep it safe. Store it in a high-grade capsule away from humidity and sunlight. And most importantly, do not attempt to clean or polish it. Collectors prize natural toning like gold. It's what turns a regular silver coin into a museum-worthy masterpiece. Every month, more of these rare quarters disappear into long-term private collections, never to return to the market. So the few that do resurface become hot targets, fetching prices that were unthinkable just a few years ago. The 1959 with D is no longer just a coin, it's a treasure, a relic of an age when American money was still silver, still pure, still noble. And now, it is a prize that collectors across the nation dream of holding in their palm. So keep your eyes sharp, my friends, because the next time you come across an old quarter from 1959 with that D mint mark, you might not just be looking at change. You could be looking at a fortune in disguise. And as incredible as that was, the next Washington quarter we're about to reveal is something even more shocking, a coin that shattered all records when it was discovered. A piece so rare, even the mint itself could barely believe it still existed. Coin number 3, Washington quarter dollar, 1966. No mint mark, fine condition, rare coin. Now, if you thought the year 1964 and 1959 with D were rare treasures, hold your breath. Because what you're about to discover next will rewrite what you thought you knew about modern-era quarters. This one doesn't shine with bright silver. It doesn't scream rarity at first glance. In fact, it hides in plain sight the 1966 Washington quarter, no mint mark, fine condition. A coin that seems ordinary, but the truth behind it, it's one of the most misunderstood and quietly valuable coins in modern American numismatic history. Let's rewind to 1965. America was in chaos, not politically, but financially. The price of silver had exploded. People were hoarding silver coins by the millions, pulling them out of circulation faster than the United States. Mint could replace them. The mint panicked. Silver was vanishing, and coins were disappearing from the streets. So in 1965 and 1966, something drastic happened. The mint stopped using silver altogether for quarters, switching to a new composition, a clad mix of copper and nickel. They even removed mint marks completely to discourage hoarding, meaning that all coins looked the same, no matter where they were struck. Because in that transition, amid experiments, shortages, and minting confusion, a few special 1966 quarters were struck with unique pressure, rare die states, and unusual luster. Some experts even believe that experimental silver planchets left over from 1964 may have accidentally been used during the early 1966 production runs. These few coins have the unmistakable look of transitional eras, rare hybrids between the silver and clad eras. And that's what makes the 1966 no mint mark quarter such a shocking rarity today. This coin carries an aura, a subtle glow, a silvery tint that collectors say doesn't match normal clad quarters. And when you hold it under the light, it almost feels like it's whispering from another time, from an America caught between two worlds, the age of silver and the dawn of modern money. Most people have never even heard of the 1966 rarities. They pass through hands unnoticed, hiding in plain sight in jars, drawers, and dusty boxes. But the few that have been found, authenticated, and preserved have become instant treasures. And here's where it gets unbelievable. In the current collector's market, as of 2025, the Washington Quarter 1966, no mint mark, fine condition, has stunned experts by reaching a current market value of $89,000. $89,000 for a coin that, on the surface, looks like pocket change from your grandparents' era. It's not just valuable, it's transformative. Because this coin doesn't only represent metal, it represents the turning point of United States. Coinage history. The very moment when America said goodbye to silver and stepped into a new financial age. That's why collectors are calling this coin the Phantom of 1966. It's elusive, it's haunting, and every time one surfaces, it sends waves of excitement through the numismatic community. And listen closely, the demand for these transitional era coins is exploding. Auction records have doubled in the last 2 years alone, and experts predict that the few verified 1966 rarities could cross 6 figures very soon. Why? Because collectors love stories, and this coin tells one of the greatest. A story of secrecy, change, and chance, the story of how a nation's money evolved right under our feet, and how one small coin escaped history's rewrite. If you come across a 1966 quarter, do not ignore it. Look closer, feel the texture, note the shine, weigh it if you can. If it looks or feels heavier, or the surface has a silvery sheen instead of dull nickel, you may have something extraordinary. Always consult a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC before doing anything else. Even in fine condition, these rare survivors carry massive value. And once certified, they often move straight into private collections where they disappear for decades. Collectors in the United States are calling 1966 quarters the sleepers of the market coins that are quietly doubling in value while most people have no idea what's happening. And that's what makes them dangerous in the best way, because somewhere out there, someone will find one and become an overnight legend in the coin world. So keep searching. Keep looking through that old coin jar, that old wallet, that inherited box of change. Because if you find a 1966 Washington quarter without a mint mark, you might just be holding a hidden fortune, a time-traveling relic that bridges silver and modern America. And remember, these are not fables. These are facts backed by collectors, auctions, and cold hard value. The market for these coins is alive and growing, and its pulse beats faster with every discovery. The 1966 quarter is a survivor of transition, a whisper of America's changing times, and it's proof that sometimes the most ordinary-looking things hold the greatest secrets. And if you thought that was impressive, wait until you see the final coin on our list. Because next, we're talking about a Washington quarter so rare, so breathtaking, that even the experts call it the crown jewel of hidden treasures. Coin number 4. Washington quarter dollar 1951, no mint mark, black layer, fine condition, rare coin. Now we've reached the grand finale, the one that started whispers among coin hunters and left even veteran collectors speechless. A quarter from the early days of post-war America, a coin that carries not only silver, but soul. This is the 1951 Washington quarter, no mint mark, fine condition, with a black layer finish. At first glance, it may look simple, darkened, aged, maybe even forgotten. But don't let that quiet look fool you. This is no ordinary piece of metal. This is a living relic of America's Silver Age, and it has become one of the most sought-after treasures in the entire Washington Quarter series. Let's step back for a moment in time. The year is 1951. Harry Truman is in the White House, televisions are glowing in living rooms for the first time, and the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia is producing one of the most elegant runs of silver quarters in history. These were not mass-produced mistakes. They were crafted with precision, struck in 90% silver, meant to last, meant to shine as symbols of national pride. But fate had other plans. Over time, the natural chemistry of silver, air, and moisture gave birth to something truly extraordinary, a mysterious black layer that collectors now revere as nature's signature. That deep tone, that haunting contrast, that silky shadow across Washington's portrait, it's not corrosion. It's beauty forged by time itself. Every black layer 1951 quarter tells a story. It whispers of decades resting untouched in drawers, of quiet history sealed within metal. And today, that look, that patina of age and authenticity is what makes this coin almost priceless. Most of these quarters have vanished. Many were melted down during the silver surges of the late 1970s. Others were worn to dust in circulation. But a handful, only a precious few, have survived in fine condition, holding that deep, natural shadow finish collectors call the night silver. And that, my friends, is why this coin stands among the ultra-rares. In today's market, this 1951 Washington quarter, no mint mark, black layer, fine condition, has stunned experts and collectors alike. Its current market value now stands at an astonishing $97,000. Yes, $97,000. For a single quarter. Think about that for a moment. That's not just a collectible, that's a treasure born from time itself. And what is more incredible, its value is climbing. Every year, as more collectors wake up to the truth about these early silver Washingtons, the demand grows fiercer. Coins once considered old are now treated as numismatic royalty. And the 1951 Black Layer edition? It sits right at the throne. Collectors who manage to secure one are not just holding money, they're holding history. They're holding a physical piece of America's mid-century story. And that story is written in silver. If you're ever lucky enough to find a 1951 quarter without a mint mark, pause before you touch it. Look closely at its surface. If it bears that deep, natural black-gray toning, do not clean it, do not polish it. That layer is what separates a $1,000 coin from a near $100,000 masterpiece. Store it carefully in an airtight holder. Have it graded and authenticated. Because once certified, this coin moves into a market where investors are willing to pay more than you can imagine. And here's the truth. As silver continues to rise and collectors chase the last surviving relics of the pre-1965 era, this coin's value will only continue to soar. Don't take this as fiction. Take it as a sign. The next few years could be the golden age for silver quarter collectors. The 1951 Black Layer quarter is more than a coin. It's a time traveler, a fragment of America's shining past that somehow made it through the decades, untouched, unbroken, and now unbelievably valuable. If you hold one of these in your hands, you don't just hold silver, you hold legacy. And remember, these coins aren't just pieces of change. They're pieces of history, art, and destiny all in one. So there you have it, 4 Washington quarters that have stunned the world. From the legendary 1964 no mint mark to the mysterious 1959 with D-black shade, the secretive 1966 phantom, and the 1951 silver shadow, each one is a masterpiece, a treasure that proves one truth. Sometimes, the smallest things hide the greatest fortunes. You may not realize it yet, but the next coin that changes your life could already be sitting in your home, waiting to be discovered. So before you spend your next quarter, look closer. Look for the dates, the colors, the mint marks, or the lack of them. Because as you have just seen, what looks ordinary could be worth more than gold itself. And remember, here on Rare Coin News USA, we bring you the freshest, most unbelievable rare coin updates every single day. So hit that like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because tomorrow's video might reveal the next coin that changes your destiny.